When did you first grow curious about the paranormal? Dare you dig deeper? You are listening to House of Asher.
Hey, and welcome back to House of Asher. This is your host, Steve Asher, and there's a story that happened to me when I was a little boy that I don't really discuss a lot, just because it's kind of uneventful, but it was extremely weird, and the older I get, the more I reflect back on it. I think about how peculiar it was, and learning and speaking with different people who are experiencers and folks that have come and gone and had all these very unusual experiences. It made me want to do a show about that, and was lucky enough, a friend of mine, Stacy, was able to put me in touch with a very interesting gentleman. And what we're going to discuss a little bit about tonight is some of his experiences, and honestly the experience of man. I mean, we're going to get pretty deep with this. And the gentleman that I would like to welcome on this episode of House of Asher, and this is actually number 70, I probably should have said that, is Pahana of the Hopi Prophecy. Pahana, are you there?
Yes, thank you.
Hey man, again, thank you so much for being on. Just some of the stuff we were discussing off air, it's wow. I'm kind of left sort of dumbstruck, because like I said, it's so, and we were just hit just a few minutes of it. I'm like, geez, this guy has experienced so much strange experiences and traveled and did so many bizarre things. Can you give like a quick little introduction as to who you are?
I'm Pahana from the Hopi Prophecy. I'm a time traveler. I've traveled in time on a craft called a UFO with the extraterrestrial elders. I have a real destiny. I helped make humanity who we are here on these lands over 20 years ago. I had sex with a woman covered in hair, but first I was given implants. One up through my nose. My right eye was removed. My right ear has an implant. You can see the scar and the lump right above it. And I also have the star system of Orion on my right side. I was taken off of a 50-mile hike back in the early 1980s. 7 of us. 3 little boys. I'm one of the boys. 1 little blonde-haired girl. 2 men staff members and a female staff member from a camp in Mendocino County, California. On our 50-mile hike, we got abducted onto a craft. I received implants. Everybody received implants. Then we were taken back in time. I was sitting at a console with many, many little buttons and a little window. Now, what's a boy to do sitting inside of a craft that has highly superior technology, driven by beings from another world, with a lot of buttons? I was pushing them. I took us back in time. When the door opened up, I ran outside. It was nighttime. And I seen people sitting at a fire. The people sitting at the fire were cooking a coyote dog. The dog lay dead on the ground, and they were cooking the liver. The elders told me to sit down. The other staff members and the other children came out of the craft. The craft took up and left, and we were back in time. This was over about 20,000 years ago. And it's all been recorded and documented for a very long time. The staff members were freaking out. Us kids were sitting down with the elders. The little blonde girl was with my mother, my native Pueblo mother. She was petting her blonde hair. And the staff members were like this. Oh my gosh, we're back in time. So We became time travelers. We broke every single record that NASA ever set out to make in all of history, including Russia. This isn't a game. This isn't a joke. I have all the proof of everything. And I'm telling the truth of everything. Because this is reality here. I have the pictures and all the proof of everything. Plus, I died back in time before my natural childbirth. Not a past life experience, not an incarnation, but physically died back in time before my natural childbirth because we were walking Mother Earth back in time. I died. I went to heaven. And I fought the evil one, the bad one. And I have all the pictures of it. It's also recorded in the Bible. Revelations chapter 12, the 7th verse, the war in heaven, the battle in heaven. I'm the child. I have all the pictures of the dragon, the beast, the devil. Real deal pictures. And I don't do Photoshop. I don't do CGI garbage. I post the real deal stuff. The real deal truth. And that's just the way it is here on Earth. I've been here for 20 million years. 20 million years. I am not new here. All of you are new. You are the great grandchildren. I am Pahana from the Hopi Prophecy. And I know more than all of humanity here on these lands because I've always been here. And my truth and my proof shakes the very foundations of religion and science itself. More than these top scientists, more than these top scholars can talk about and think about. And this is nothing theoretical. And this has nothing to do with psychology. What does abduction have to do with psychology? Nothing. What does time travel have to do with psychology? Nothing. What does dying before your childbirth have to do with psychology? Not a damn thing. I don't do your drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke. I have all the proof and truth of all things. I have pictures that I have taken of myself in heaven. How many people that you know of in today's time period that have actual pictures of themselves in heaven and themselves on earth at the same time? Or pictures of themselves side by side in the same location. Two of you in the same location.
Pahana, let me ask you something right quick, because you posed a couple of very interesting comments. Obviously, you went on board of the spaceship, dealt with dying. Apparently had contact with a parallel version of yourself in some which way. If you had two people in the same spot, it was the same individual. When you dealt with the extraterrestrials, was it a nurturing thing? Did they communicate with you? Was it very kind of sterile, robotic? Are these the same ones that did the implants that you went on the ship with? And did they explain why they did it?
Well, I was a kid. You know, what's a kid to do? I was just busy. It's like what I was doing, I was a part of the collective. I was a part of the crew. I was driving the craft. It's kind of like a busy office with everybody's back turned doing their work at the computer screens. There's not a lot of talking. But everything, because I had been given implants, everything's coming in here without moving my mouth. So I have telepathy.
So that's really
I was controlling the craft. I was controlling the craft not only with my hands, but guiding the craft with my soul and spirit in the telepathy and the implants that I was given.
So the implants, because I always wondered what's the reason for it. I've always heard people say, "Oh, well, that's to track them, or it's to monitor their health," and almost like a tag that you would put on, a wild animal. But you're saying it somewhat had to do with manipulating the power of the ship, and I wonder if that maybe protected you in regards of time travel. Maybe it was almost like an inoculation or some sort of thing that made it where you could actually travel and transverse time safely.
Well, one of the implants right here is a tracking device. You can feel the lump right there. The other one is a spiritual gift. The other one is a mind gift, and the other one is a sight gift. All the gifts, they're gifts. They want to know. It's like they're there themselves, because they have the technology that they can be here right now listening, and I couldn't even see them. And another dimension, and another reality that you don't know about that I do. That's why you see sometimes little black shadows out of the corner of your eyes. That's actually somebody there. The other ones are white shadows. You ever see down a road where it's all wavy? In a hot summer day, it's all wavy, kind of like a staticky wave.
Right. It almost looks like remember the funhouse mirrors, how it would distort what you see reflecting back at you, where it would kind of look wavy or just like it's distorted. Yeah. It's sort of like like off a black of a chalkboard, and when the wind's hitting when the wind is hitting the chalkboard, right, and the sunlight is hitting it, you can see actually the currents of the wind. Right.
On a chalkboard. It's kind of like that. But it's like one of those Japanese invisibility cloaks that they have also. It's just a reflection of light, and it also has to deal with dimensionality.
Well, let me ask you this, because man, I've got so many questions, but I don't want to slow you down, and we can
do this for 2 hours or 3 hours. It's all up to you.
Well, I appreciate it. The thing is, it's such a I don't know. It's one of these things that I want to ask questions, but it's also a thing. It's one of those deals like, okay, because there's a full cup of a full gallon of water doesn't mean I have to drink all that at one time, and because I may not absorb it, this might take several talkings to kind of get this down, and at least that's what my heart's telling me. I don't claim to be empathic, but my gut tells me, because I've done paranormal stuff for about 40 years, and I've worked in corrections and dealt with different sort of people, and I've learned to trust my gut. My thing is, what's telling me is like, get very still and listen, and when your heart's led to ask the question, ask it. I don't know what that is, but that's just what I'm feeling. So one thing I did want to ask, though, because you were discussing the like the war in heaven and all this, how much is true in regards of like genetic manipulation, and more than that, spiritual manipulation, outside of humanity's own effect on itself? Are we a race, a hybrid race? Is this sort of our pupa stage? Are we going to grow into something better, or are we going to regress into something worse?
Well, okay, look at the process that happened to me. Follow the process. I was taken as a child, young and pure in spirit, very impressionable, very clean. Children are pure in nature, very strong, very strong. Anyway, taken, okay, and, well, given implants, very strong implants, very strong, taken back in time travel in the craft. I was driving the craft with my spirit. I had destiny. I was pushing the buttons. Getting out of the craft, many different time periods, but also taken back to the dawn of humanity, where I mated, had sex, with a furry woman who had a ridge crest point on her head, like a ridge crest point, and became a father. They brought the female inside of the craft, laid her on the table, And well, no, let me see. See, that's where it's kind of funny for me because I might have went to heaven first, and then made it, or maybe not have.
Well, it
But
seems like.
either way,
Well, I was just going to
you know,
say it seems like your version of time is almost. It doesn't necessarily mean which came first or which came after, due to the fact that, like you said, your ability to supersede a time frame kind of makes you sort of omnipotent in regards of that. You know, you sort of, if you wanted it to be first, it'll be first. You know, it's just the way it seems to me.
okay, well, I'm pretty sure it was the way that I had died first, and then I was mated, and then they took us into the craft because I was resuscitated, the resurrection. The Father, the Son, the Sacred Spirit. Do you understand that?
I'm following
Like
you.
Christ.
Right.
Like Christ, the Father, the Son, the Sacred Spirit. They brought her in. I'm a father to humanity. I became. Plus, I became of the Spirit. I am a deity. A deity. I have the most powerful transcendence ever known to humanity is to die physically back in time before your natural childbirth. Ascend into heaven. And what I did in heaven is recorded all through time. I fought the beast himself. And I have the pictures of it. The actual battle in heaven and the beast and his angels. So, when I resurrected after my journey through heaven, which was many thousands of years, and still today, I'm still up in heaven, and I'm on earth at the same time. You see this picture right here? You see
Yes.
that?
Yes.
That's two of me in the same location. How many people that you know of that has a picture of themselves twice in the same location? Nobody.
Right.
How
Let,
many people do you know of that has actual pictures of themselves in heaven and on earth at the same time? Nobody. That's why I am called the true white brother, a brother of divinity, a brother who became a part of our environment. Our environment is white, and it can be gray, but it's in this that when we go to the next life, we become a part of the environment, which sustains all life here. And if there is no art, no life up in the heavens, stagnant environment, there will be no life, no art on earth. What is above, so is below.
right.
And I am both. And I am not going to show my missing piece of my tablet here. It is out of great respect for my elder that I won't do this. But I will tell you certain things, and I won't tell certain things.
Right.
Humanity must learn how to coexist with all relations related to this world and stick to the original plan made by the creators, or all will perish and there will be purification. And that is the truth of it, with the proof of it.
Okay. Pahana, let me ask you one thing.
It's not religion. It is not religion. There is no such thing as religion. It's all art. There is life in the soil that we walk on, and life coming out of the soil that gives us food. There is life in the waters, fish, all kinds of different life in the waters. There is life walking on top of the soil, us and all the animals, and all the different colors and all the different species. And there is life, again, in the environment.
Pahana.
That's me. We're alive.
Let me ask you
Yes.
something. Let me ask you this. After your experiences in heaven, in the kind of like a pre-existence before humanity, do you think that had anything to do with you being chosen to then go through time travel on the ship? I was going to ask you too, do you have any memory of sort of how the ship looked? Was it something that you can really remember?
Yeah, I got the pictures of it.
Okay.
I got the pictures of everything. I'm supposed to have all the proof of all things associated to our world and the visitors, all things here and more. All things.
Okay.
Because I truly am this person that everybody seeks to ask and learn this knowledge, this wisdom, which is two different things. Because if you guys don't learn, you truly will not survive.
Well, I mean, knowledge without wisdom is
The craft,
unloaded.
the craft inside of the craft. Yeah, I mean, inside the craft, there were chairs, tables. You see, what people don't understand is these crafts. Some of these crafts are designed just to take species of life and examine them. That's why they're running around. And they have always ran around taking what they want to study for science, for art, and to create a different part of life, to sustain themselves and us. They've helped make humanity who we are today. I know. I helped make it too. With the proof of it. The actual proof of it. I'm an Adam, as an Adam and Eve. I've always been here. And I have all the proof of everything.
So was the daughter...
Everybody else into speculation. They just speculate. They contradict themselves until they meet me. But when they meet me, they want to ask many questions, and that's okay. Because I will teach you. But I can't comprehend it for you, you know?
Right. Well, the daughter that you had with the furry humanoid, which I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, so correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that was possibly a Neanderthal woman, or was this even an earlier version? And is the daughter, is that the beginning of humanity as we know it today?
My son?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, your son.
Well, yeah. Two different species, a child from the future, from a different timeline, from an alternate reality, in a parallel universe, brought with him the seed and the gifts. The gifts. The gifts. And the gifts from the elders who've always been here to create life. You know,
Okay.
the giant that held me in his hand.
Yeah, let's
Eve,
talk about
when
that.
I first met her, when I first met Eve, taken to this place, there was a giant there. I got out of the craft, and he picked me up in his hand. And I have the picture of the giant. I don't have CGI crap. I don't have Photoshop junk. I have real pictures. The picture of the giant that picked me up in his hand was looking at me, and the first words that were spoken in English, so the first words that were spoken of humanity, at the dawn of humanity, were these words: "Put me down." I was a little kid. He was holding me. Eve came running up to him. He was holding me like this in his hand. She kept jumping up at his leg thought I was something to eat, that I was the food. And she was wanting to eat me up. And I said, put me down. And he looked around, and I pointed over there, really high up on a rock, so she could eat me up. So he pointed me over there on a tall rock, and I got the picture of the rock. Excuse me, I got the picture of everything. Time travel's a reality, whether you like it or not. Creation is a beautiful thing, and I got to help make it. I got pictures of Eve, what she looks like, with the rich pointed crest head and everything, the giant, my elders, the extraterrestrials, and my father and my mother, and myself's in heaven with the extra, with everything, you know. And people look at me like, this guy is joking, this guy's on drugs. And then I just have to post them the picture of the bad one, the devil. And they go, this guy's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then they go hide themselves in a damn closet and shit themselves.
You know, honestly, the first thing I thought of when you were telling me this is like, this is a young kid. And how in the hell did you cut part of my language? How did you wrap your head around this? How did you not just, like you said, just go run into a cave somewhere and just lose your mind? I don't think I could have weathered it.
I wasn't scared. I'm not as scared. I just got to fly in the UFO, the craft. I got to push the buttons. That was real neat for me. I like doing it. You know? They're just different people, that's all. I was real hungry. You see, we were on a 50-mile hike. We were on a 50-mile hike deep in the woods when we got abducted. You know those big backpacks, the hiking backpacks?
Right.
Now, the ones in the 80s, man, they were really uncomfortable. And we had, you know, I was carrying one that had all the pots and pans on it.
Ah, wow.
Go figure, right? That was real heavy. And it was burning into my shoulders, the straps.
Of course it was, yeah.
And that night, all I had for dinner was some strawberry Pop-Tarts and a few marshmallows.
Jesus.
I was hungry. You know? Kids going to eat. You know, kids, when you got something, when you're eating something and you got a young one.
Yeah, they're going to eat.
You know.
For sure.
They're looking at you like, what do you got? I want something you got. Is it good?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And they won't say nothing. They'll just stare right at you, looking right at you. And that's exactly what I did to my elders. And they went like this. Sit down. Well, they didn't say sit down. And they said, Pueblo. I was with the ancient Pueblo. Very ancient Pueblo. 20,000 years ago.
Tell
and
me
then
about
I
that.
was with the Hopi. And I was in the underground city before the great flooding of Earth.
So tell me, like, your experiences with the Pueblo and then also the early Hopi. What did you learn from there? Did you see some stuff that, you know, because you always hear stuff about Atlantis and you hear, like you said, you hear about the underground civilizations. What of it's true? What of it, you know, is any of it connected? Is it all connected?
Well, what I experienced was how to make a fire. My father taught me how to make a fire. He taught me how to make fire. And the Anunnaki, the ant friends, the ant hill friends, they helped me. They helped teach me how to grow the corns and to grow the squashes.
Are you talking like, I knew there was a thing about the three sisters, and just do me a favor. There may be some people listening to the show who's not as familiar with the ant people. Would you touch just a little bit on that? Because they're going, ant people, what are they talking about?
Well, they look like the praying mantis people.
So they're like large humanoid insects.
Okay. Ah, the light. The light. Anyway, here's me in an underground city, right here. I'm right here. You can't really see, but that's one of the ant friends right there. The light. There's light deep inside of the earth, and it's the most beautiful light that you will ever experience in your life. But you have to be someone very important, someone of ancient nature, because you sure won't ever see that place, ever, unless you were me or one of the other hikers. Now I'll show you this. I'll show you this picture right here. This is an extraterrestrial elder right here. This picture is reality.
Now, is that the colored picture or the one just to the side of it?
That is the highest level that you're ever going to see about a real extraterrestrial. That picture is an extraterrestrial, my elder, who's in heaven.
Okay, is this the colored picture or the one to the side of it? Ah, I see
this one right here.
Got you.
This one right here.
Okay.
This picture is me. That's me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think that's one of the pictures that you sent me, which I will be putting up on my Facebook page and also on stevieasher.com for anybody who wants to look at that and listen along to the podcast once I put it up.
There you go, extraterrestrial. See, I have real pictures of real extraterrestrials. I don't play games. I am this person. I'm not a claim. I am not self-proclaimed. Like all these authors, all these field investigators, all these people that you see on Ancient Aliens, all these other people, all these other abductees who don't have the proof of anything, who have drawings, Photoshop, CGI. I don't have that. I have reality. The highest source of disclosure. Directly outside, up above your head in heaven, inside the craft, with the extraterrestrials, with the elders, that's been recorded and documented since the dawn of humanity. Okay. Because I am this person. I am an actual atom. I am one of the atoms. There's more than just one. That's why you have black people. That's why you have Chinese people. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, we discussed a little bit about the ant people and how they're kind of like big praying mantises. Now, in
Utah, they're beautiful.
You know, for some reason, I would think that they would almost have a shimmer to them, almost like oil on water. Am I right on that?
I don't know. Well, from what I remember, is just gazing into their eyes, and that's pretty much it. I mean, once they saw me and they saw inside of me who I was taken immediately. They took me. And they took me to a certain location, and the elders, all the elders of the extraterrestrial species, the ones that have always been here. Well, you see, you can't really say that they're extraterrestrials when they've always lived here on Earth. You can call them from Earth, because they are. And some of them are time travelers, and they do come from the future. So they are our great-grandchildren. They're the great-grandchildren from the future. We are the elders. And I am your eldest of elders. Just because I've traveled in time, don't let this fool you. I'm 20 million years old. On paper doesn't mean anything. Because paper is corrupted because of the secret societies, religious cults, doctrines, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. I surpass all their knowledge and all their wisdom. I've been here before any white man came here on boats. Millions of years. I've been here before any of the religions. I've been here before any of the laws were made. I've been here when it was just three people on these lands. Me, the giant, and Eve. Well, and then the elders from another species. And that was it. And a great spirit, who also I have a picture of.
We discussed multiple atoms here, well, just here on Earth. Are there any planets or solar systems relatively close that you know of that have a similar setup, an atom for that particular world? And are we meant to have any contact with them, or are we sort of like, look, this is our ball field, we have to learn, this is our classroom, that's their classroom, and we're not really supposed to mix?
Well, it's like this, okay? The same thing that's happening here has happened to other worlds over and over and over again. The worlds that don't make it, that come in utter corruption, war, and tear each other apart, don't get to reach stage one. Now, they can see this future outcome by simply going into the future, time travel, and see the reality of what is to be, and try to stop it from happening. But they can only do so much, and I can only do so much. But if I was given a big spot on the TV news, if I was to be able to be granted TV time on, say, a news channel like Channel 7, CBS, CNN, the Washington Post, whatever have you, on the big TV news in a good, standing, morally correct family way with respect, I can deliver all the greatest proof and truth faster than a damn pizza man can get to your door. 30 minutes or less. Now, how's that for reality?
That's deep, man. I mean, my thing too is, you talk about CGI.
And that could generate worldwide peace instantly. They would be like, oh my gosh, it's all real. Look at what we've been doing. We better stop. And I'll be like, yeah, you want to see the bad one?
Let me ask you this. We were discussing like CGI and this and that. Have you had anybody, when we talk about secret societies and we talk about kind of like the Men in Black and whatever different type of kind of Luciferian groups, have you had anybody kind of approach you and go like, look, these people aren't ready for this, or they don't need this knowledge? Have you had anybody try to kind of kneecap you or kind of seduce you into not sharing this, or kind of, what I'm saying, sort of pulling back on this? I was just kind of curious, because you would think, if with everything that you know and all that you've experienced, it's kind of had to have made some enemies, or at least people that are watching you really close.
Oh, there's always been people that's been watching me since the dawn of humanity. They're called the elders. They know everything. They know everything that's going to happen. But as far as the societies, the secret societies and the religious cults and all this and that and the other thing, no one's came forward and asked me. And I've been here longer before any of them. I've always been here. I even have pictures with me and Marduk. You know who Marduk is? From ancient Babylon?
Right, he was
I have
the king,
pictures
right?
of me. Yeah, pictures of me and Marduk and the dragon. I have real pictures of Marduk and the dragon of Babylon with me right next to him.
Let me ask you this. You were talking about the early years and like Babylonians, Sumerians. Okay, I've always heard, and the reason I ask you this, I was reading something about like the Library of Alexandria, that Caesar's, as I understand, was the one who put the torch to it and burnt that down, and supposedly put humanity back about 1,000 years. We fell into what they call the Dark Ages and all that. Was that something systematically done? Was that something that just accidentally happened? And then is there another parallel universe? Because obviously you've traveled through a lot of these different type of regions. Are there other worlds like Earth, but that are more advanced, they never lost that knowledge and had to relearn everything.
Well, I can't tell you about Alexander because I wasn't there. I was before their time. I happened before them. But I have been traveling to many different land masses on Earth, but I never came across the great Alexander. I never came across their people. I came across the ancient Egyptians, and I think Petra. I think it was Petra. It was a house carved in the side of a mountain. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was right off the sea, wasn't it?
It might have been because it was a really big, tall house, and inside had really tall, big people. And I mentioned this many times. But it might have been Atlantis. I don't know. Because I was just a kid. I didn't have a darn road map. I'm supposed to be on a 50-mile hike, man. You know?
Right.
I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to be morally correct because I have the greatest proof and knowledge and wisdom about all things associated to our world and the visitors and the people who have always been here who helped make humanity who we are today. And I'm not going to lie because I love them. They're my family. I don't see anybody in today's time helping me do jack shit. And excuse my word, but I don't. You know, I'm going to make T-shirts, okay? I'm going to make T-shirts with the biggest disclosure about the extraterrestrial presence that's been here on Earth. I'm going to make a picture of an extraterrestrial elder, a real picture of a real extraterrestrial on the front of the T-shirt. And on the back of the T-shirt, I'm going to put my picture of me, your brother of divinity, who is a deity, on the back. And I'm going to sell 50 T-shirts for $1,000 each. They will have the highest disclosure and full detail, crispy, clean picture, image of a real extraterrestrial and me on a T-shirt. The highest disclosure ever and imaginable because I don't have no transportation. I need a car. I have to go east. I mean, not east, west. I have to go west. I have to go to the Hopi and report. Right now, no one's going to help me go to Arizona. No one's going to be like, hey, Pahana, let's get up in the car and let's go do this, man. Let's go. Come on. And I'll be like, all right. No one's helped me. Everybody just wants to ask me questions, which I can understand. But I have things to do for you. I have things to do for our future generations yet to come, all relations here and our world, the preservation of our world, or it's all going to be the big barbecue for you guys. And that's the facts of it.
All right. Let me ask you this.
So I have the proof and truth of all things that could actually bring worldwide peace and settle you guys down.
Right. Pahana, let me ask you just real fast. Two things. Obviously, you do have a lot to say, and you have a lot of knowledge, and you're obviously trying to prevent some darkness, the ultimate darkness, from happening. And first of all, you were talking about your shirts, and I also want to make sure that you mention your Facebook page and how people can contact you, how they can reach you, because there might be somebody who says, hey, you know, I'm a over the road trucker. I go through close to where the Hopi stuff is, and we'd be happy to give you a ride there, or maybe we've got some family in that area. They're glad to set you up, while you're here visiting. You got food, you got shelter, the basics. How could a person get a hold of you if they're wanting to try to help you in this?
Facebook, Pahana Pass. Pahana, P-A-H-A-N-A, Pahana Pass, P-A-S-S. Look up the Hopi Prophecy on the internet. You'll see my name, Pahana. Just put pass on the end of it. Look me up on Facebook. Send me a message and say, I want to help you out. I want to have one of these disclosure T-shirts that just makes everybody else just cringe. And you're excited because you have a real picture of a real extraterrestrial And no one else does. All they have is CGI baloney. You know? And I need a car. I need a reliable source of transportation that I can trust. I can't have one of these, shade tree mechanic junkyard cars. Yeah, $300, $300 every 2 weeks, and the car don't last but a darn month. I'm not going to have that. I need a brand new car that I can rely on because I have to travel to Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, all these places, Utah, Colorado, all around the Four Corners area. And I want to keep on selling these T-shirts and give and give and give and share the knowledge because it's not religion that I have. All I have is the proof and truth of things about what has happened to us and the elders, who we are, what everything here is about, with all the proof and truth of everything. It shouldn't be that hard, considering I have all the proof and truth of who I am and what has happened, where I was, who I was with,
Right.
Why should it be that hard? I would love for people to buy these T-shirts so that way they could be like, I own a piece of history and I helped my brother Pahana, the true white brother, do these things that actually can generate worldwide peace and save all of humanity in our world. Do it the right way. Morally correct. Morally correct. It's not religion. It's life helping life on many different levels. It's life.
Pahana, let me ask you this.
It's beautiful.
You're so freaking passionate, man. I'm laughing because you're so passionate, and I've had a lot of folks on, and sometimes they really feel like they're kind of dialing it in, or they're, like you said, wrote a book about this, wrote a book about that, and they're not. It sounds like they're just selling it, But I really feel that you are passionate and that you really feel this. Let me ask you this. You were talking about a car, needing a new car. Because like I said, different people listen to the show. Is there a certain make and model you're looking for? Is there certain things you need? Does it need to have like a hitch for you to pull stuff with, with all your shirts? Give me some details. What are you looking for? Because like I said, there may be somebody out there that says, I've got a car lot here in Eastern Tennessee or whatever, and because I'm not that far, really from you, being in Western Kentucky. So what are you looking for, man? Give me an idea what you're looking for, and maybe I can try to put some feelers out for you.
Like that Honda truck. I forgot what it's called. It was like a Honda. It's like a Honda. It's like a brand new Honda.
Like an Intrepid.
It's a crossover. It's a Honda and a truck.
I know what
anyway,
you're talking
they
about.
got these at Honda.
Okay.
Or just like something, that if I have to be on the road, I can kick back in it and I can sleep in,
Right.
I have to do these things. If someone can contact Donald Trump, be so kind, because I tried so many times to call the Don, on the email, on the phone, and I keep on getting this very rude lady operator. Well, we can't let you talk to the president. I'm like, ma'am, do you know who I am? I am Pahana from the Hopi. I can't let you talk to the president. No one talks to the president. I'm older than the president. I'm older than all of you. I'm your white brother from up above, from up north. Sacred, ancient, great-grandfather to humanity. I should not need an appointment.
Pahana.
That shows great disrespect for who I am and what I've been through and what I know for all of humanity.
In what you've seen and what's been shared with you from, not just from the elders, but from the giants, and what you've learned from the wars in heaven, what is the end game? What, obviously you want to save us from ourselves, but let's say we do that, and I'm not going to lie. I wonder, because I know humans. And just in a short time I've been here, but what's the end game? What are you trying to bring about?
Okay, what I can do for humanity, because look at the way, look what I experienced. I experienced the garden. of Eden. Okay? Beautiful Mother Earth, so crisp and clean. No destruction, no buildings, just purity. The air had magic in it, that healing properties. The water you can drink, so clean and pure. The vegetable, the fruit that I ate, given to me by the giant. Tasted. Whoa. Utopia. Clean, pure, fresh, new. Now you look at it. What do you see? Cars, violence, society out of control. But we'll stay right here. We'll be right back after this commercial messages. Everybody's smiling in nice clothes. And then right back to corruption and war. Look at the commercials. And then look at the main episode. You'll see something there. It's called programming. I supersede all of this. I can bring back the garden. I can bring it back. Because it was I who was always here to help make all of you. I don't play games with this. I show the proof and truth of everything. At least you can do is respect your brother and give me some love and listen and look. And then maybe you will see and you will be like, he's right. I know I'm right. And he has great answers. Well, those are the only kind I got. I will do the right things. I will not be corrupted. I can't. Divinity does not lie. Heaven does not lie. We don't lie because we're connected, related to all things of this world. We don't lie. We give him the greatest proof and truth of all things associated to this world and more. Family helps family all the time. It's Christmas every day.
Exactly. And I wish more people felt like that. And, I think that there are a lot of people who, as you talked about disclosure, who's pushing for that. And I think that the numbers are getting larger, and I think the pressure's getting on, different governmental powers to open up and share that type of information. Let me ask you, you'd mentioned people who are blocking this, and like I said, we just got a few minutes left, but people who are trying to do disinformation, and the people that are trying to mislead people and control people and keep them kind of, under the thumb of fear politics. Who is at the top of it? Because you always hear, it's Rothschilds, or it's this and that subversive group, or, is there a all-powerful, group, like a godhead of this type of disinformation?
No. There are only, I would say this, how easy it is for me to tell the truth and show the truth to the people who are lying and live in the corruption, in the hard way, in the corruption of it. There will always be corrupted people and greedy people. Just like we didn't let the greedy and the corrupted into the underground city. We separated the good from the bad. The bad were not allowed. We could see into them. Plus, we had the biggest guards. You ever seen the movie Gladiators?
Yes.
Well, these men would have ripped a gladiator apart.
Jeez.
You got close to them, and you got next to the tablets. If you got next to the tablets, which I gave witness to, because all my elders from all across the world were brought to the underground city because of the great flooding of earth. All the religion was there, including the Ark of the Covenant, which I got to help carry, by the way, and have the proof of it. All the religion was there. These men would have killed you instantly. I looked at them and I was like, whoa, real big.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, like you said, these guys are of such immense stature, but like you said, they had a duty. They had I'm sure, a sworn oath to protect these tablets, and
Yes.
and that's what they intended to do. Well, let me ask you one more thing, and like I said, I will have to fade this out in a second, and I'll be glad to speak to you off air when this is ended. But if there's a message above all things that you want to leave people with that is absolutely critical, that you, like you said, it's like, okay, if you had to break something down in 2 or 3 sentences, which I know is insane, but what's parting words, as it were? What do you want to tell humanity?
I'm your brother. I'm your brother. I come from my Father's house, from the kingdom of heaven, and I'm on earth. Listen to me. Please obey. Lay down all your weapons and surrender to the truth and the proof of pure divinity, all relations to our world, forevermore, in our sacred Father's name, in the kingdom of heaven forever, and become family again like you used to be in the underground city, or there will be purification. And no matter where you go or hide inside of earth, there will be no escape from the purification. Everything will be destroyed. So I need help to do the right things, not for just myself, but for all of us. I'm going to sell the t-shirts. I need the vehicle to go right away. The faster, the better. You can find me on the Facebook to get a t-shirt with the ultimate proof of a real extraterrestrial. And you can wear it and say, I love my brother Pahana. He is a deity and he tells the truth and he is a family member of humanity. He is of heaven and earth at the same time. And I love all and respect all, and I am so very thankful for all my relations. And I have to say I, because I am your true white brother. No one else is going to show you and give you the proof of things, because he loves you. And he wants to do the right things and everybody to be happy all the time about it. You know, it's a lot of stuff.
Right. Pahana, thank you. We've just barely scratched the surface of this, and I want to have you back on, but for now, the time is up, and I do want to thank everyone for tuning in to House of Asher. I will have Pahana of the Hopi Prophecy back on, and to really dig into some more of this, and to spread an important message. He's, he's very heartfelt. I'm kind of humbled, and I don't really know how to add something beyond that, but this guy feels like, seems like he's the real deal, and very heartfelt. But I want you guys to make sure to go to stevieasher.com and my Facebook page to check out some of the photographs that we had mentioned. And until next time, do go out and enjoy yourself, but always make sure to check under your bed, check your closet, check out back. You never know. There may be something good, there may be something dark out there. Let your spirit decide and discern. Until next time, everybody, take care, and God bless.